Gabs, can I be honest with you? I've got game movie fatigue. Year after year, we've got these game movie writers churning out some game movie slop, and I'm sick of it. First, they came for the AAA slop, and I said everything. Like, really, you could not shut me up if you tried. Then they came for our childhood, and I started a war. I'm about to tear Mixtape apart in a few minutes. I don't care what they say. Let those game movie actors watch. I like that. Now we've reached the last bastion of gaming. Indie. This was always supposed to be your safe harbor from AAA garbage. For years, people have said, well, if you don't like AAA games, just go play indie. Well, what are you gonna do when they just brute force their way in here too? Well, now you don't have to wonder anymore. This game movie bullshit. Now they want you to applaud their billion-dollar indie game like they did something special. But hey, maybe I'm just being jaded. Let's take a look at a special moment from the game. Come on, let's give it a shot, guys.
Oh, yeah! Yeah! Jesus!
That's it. No more shots for you. I gotta take as many shots as I give. My liver can't take it anymore. Which reminds me, have you ever seen a MILF shake? Well, you can at the link below. This was the only safe for work product. Be sure to use code PIMP to get 10% off. Seriously, I don't know how many more of these game movies I can take. At this point, it's not like anyone even takes IGN seriously anymore, but they've got enough money to annoy me on a daily basis. Some random freelance writer slaps a 10 out of 10 on this, now I gotta talk about it. So let's talk about it. Mixtape is a game that's supposed to be indie, you know, despite the fact that they've spent more on licensed music than most games ever make, because, you know, with such generous licensing fees in the industry right now, every scrappy solo dev should be able to pay 400 grand per song, right? And how can we forget about that indie charm of sending out expensive merch to all the reviewers and content creators? What, you think putting a gold bar in a goodie bag is a bribe? Well, it is. But they didn't do that. And legally, I need to make this very clear so that I don't get sued by this chick's billionaire father. I can't afford a lawyer. I'm a butler on a budget. You think they can't be an indie dev because their father is a billionaire? Listen, just because they've got a team of 30 people and millions of dollars backing them, that doesn't mean they can't be a scrappy indie too. Curb your prejudice. You people can't stand the sight of a young billionaire making their way out of the streets of their gated community. A billionaire that has more than nothing to work with, all the support money can buy. You don't know how hard it is to have this little to struggle with. We started from the top, now we're here. But I'm getting off track. Mixtape is not a game. Some people say it has gameplay, then show you this. I hate my dad. I asked for a Ferrari, got a Cayenne. This is supposed to be 90s nostalgia, but this story was so asinine that it's got me thinking maybe the past fucking sucked. Maybe we are living in the best times. That's how delusional this game makes me, and I'm tired of calling it a game. They keep cranking out these game movies that no one wants to watch, let alone play. These are failed Hollywood actors that devolve into game movie actors to pretend they matter. All these game movie actors just won't come out and admit it. You don't want to be a game movie actor. You're game for pay. So stop slapping around joysticks and go back to ruining Marvel movies. My culture is not your costume. Pride Month is early, sucker. Welcome to Game Pride Month. Twinkle, twinkle, star. And listen, I'm not saying these people are only in it for the fame. I'm sure they're in it for the money too. They're planning to have a theatrical release of the whole 3-hour experience. You know what doesn't have that? A video game. The only theatrical release happening this year is Street Fighter, and that's because Tammy has lore-accurate cheeks. Mixtape blew guys. Mixtape blew it, guys. So instead, they want every indie game award and an Oscar. Your greed sickens me. Listen, stories are great, but you seem to be forgetting that this is a video game. And the nice part about a video game is that after the cutscene, you get to play the game. If I cannot play the game, it's not a game anymore, is it? I mean, you know, I'm the type of freak that likes to game and watch. Call me Mr. Game and Watch. Game and Watch? Yeah, I hope they do. I had nowhere else to put this joke, so it goes here. Frick you guys. Anyway, were you really shocked by the 10 from IGN? Were you really shocked by that rhyme I rhymed? This is a movie for failures from the 90s that still blame their parents for being born. The last indie game they played was Cuphead, and they couldn't even beat the tutorial. They're still butthurt from that, so anything with gameplay is gonna get a lower score. Remember when they gave Crimson Desert a 6 out of 10 because they had to think? Look, we all know critical thinking isn't their strong suit, and sure, people accuse them of using AI. But you gotta cut them some slack. They can't even spell AI. Anymore, the lower the score, the better the game. And before people say it, I don't want Mixtape to fail. I hope they win every trophy at the Game Awards. That way they can melt them down and recoup their dev costs. Fortunately, these awards are only metaphorically worthless, especially when you see how Expedition 33 stole every indie game award despite having a shoestring $10 million budget, large experienced team of developers, and complete support of every gaming journo in the industry. With an ivory tower like that, poor Pizza Tower never stood a chance. What it also had going against it is that it didn't even come out in the same year as this. Who wrote this script? Damn, I did. What even is an indie game anymore? When I think of an indie game budget, I think of $100 to a failed Kickstarter. Not unlimited money from your billion-dollar daddy. Seriously. Mixtape is the billionaire's equivalent of giving an iPad to your daughter so she'll leave you the hell alone. All these companies heard we like indie games and are trying to dress up like scrappy upstarts. Can't wait to play 2026's Indie Game of the Year, Call of Duty 27. And I know I gave Mixtape the business, but I really love this game and can't wait to play it over and over again for the rest of my life. In fact, I rented out a whole theater so I could enjoy it fully myself. And this fucking game. Who the greenlit this? And I told you not to use that picture. I gotta double check. Fuck. Oh shit, we're still rolling? Thanks to the flock of pimps, the pimps have spoken. You're about to witness the biggest budgets that have ever graced the front of a shaker cup. Dropping May 28th, so the countdown starts today. Go bookmark it and mark your calendars for some great big jugs.